Okay, class, so today we're talking about the executive branch. This is the branch outlined in Article 2 of the Constitution, and its job is to enforce the laws made by Congress. So the first thing we need to do is talk about the leader of the executive branch, which is the president. So the president has several things outlined in Article 2, Section 1 and Section 3. So the first is that needs to be the single president of the United States. We did not want a council because they would act too slowly. The founding fathers believed we need a single president so he could act with vigor. He also served for 4 years with the vice president ever since the 12th Amendment undid how the person who came in second in the election became the vice president, because for obvious reasons you'd have some political conflict. Number three is he's commander-in-chief of the Army and the Navy, but he does not get to declare war. He can deploy troops, but he has to notify Congress within a certain time period, and then he also can only keep them there for a certain time period unless it gets approved for more. He appoints positions if Senate approves. So it says Congress, but the Senate are the ones that do the confirming. Appointing positions is very key for judicial positions because those stay on after the president's term is over. He can also make treaties. Most of the treaties he makes won't need Senate confirmation because they're economic treaties, not really political or anything like that. But if it is political, then the Senate, aka Congress, also must approve. He can also fill vacancies if the Senate is in recess, and then from time to time he gives a State of the Union. So the cabinet serves under the president. They're people that he chooses, and thankfully it's not that kind of cabinet. This cabinet is right there. So it's this big graph that I've put on here that has each of the different positions. So originally, the cabinet, because he can appoint positions as given in Article 2, so he originally, George Washington appointed a Secretary of State and a Secretary of Treasury, and as you can see, it has much expanded since then because more things have been needed to be founded as time went on. So this is each branch of the cabinet and which each of them are with their seals and everything, and then underneath this is where our next lesson will be going, which is all of the bureaucracy. And bureaucracy, as you will soon learn, is a very complicated mess. I'm not a big fan of teaching it, but it's really necessary to understand in government because it is a huge tool that the executive branch uses to enforce the laws. So just imagine that each of these branches of the cabinet has a bunch of little branches going off of them, and those have little branches going off of them just because of all the different departments in play here. So that'll be on the next lesson.